This week, Manchester City have been moving mad. Ait Nouri, deal done. Reijnders, deal done. But the one deal, the special one, was Cherki. I don't know if you saw him play for France the other day, but Rayan Cherki. That deal is now done. Breaking Manchester City. Here we go, Rayan Cherki. Deal in place club to club after direct contact. Cherki will sign a 5-year deal as a City player with Olympique Lyon to receive €35 million package with add-ons according to L'Equipe. Documents are being prepared. Romano and Ornstein have now confirmed Cherki is going to Man City. The plan is to get him before the Club World Cup. This makes me jealous. I can't lie. I am very jealous as a Manchester United fan. Reijnders, Cherki, Ait Nouri. That is unbelievable business for 110 million. Ait Nouri is the one that almost makes me the most jealous in a weird way because I think he would have been perfect for Man United, Prem proven, and he was only a little bit more than Dorgu. Exactly what we need. Cherki just makes me jealous because he's a player that I've rated for years. I've been talking about Cherki from like 2 years ago. I'm not someone that's just jumped on the Cherki hype now because he's had a couple of good games. No, like I've seen it from the start. And then Reijnders is literally the perfect Gundogan long-term midfielder for City. Like literally ticks every box. Spoke about this guy months ago. And City have got 3 unbelievable, perfect signings for 110 million. They also got Marmoush back in January. And it's so annoying as a rival because City, they had that bad spell. And I got to laugh at them for 3 months. And I couldn't even laugh at City as a Man United fan because my club was 16th in the table. So I couldn't even enjoy City's fall off for a couple of months. Go and get Marmoush in January. Go and do some good business in January. They, ended up finishing 3rd in their worst season in years and not winning a trophy. And now they're going to be in the title race next season. City are going to be in the title race next season. And I saw this guy tweet this. But Cherki's got 32 goal contributions. And I think he's only started like 34 games as well. Erling Haaland's got 45 goal contributions this season. And Marmoush got 46. So I'm going to do some quick maths here. 46 plus 45 is 91. Plus 32 is 93, 123. 123 goal contributions between City's potential front three next season. 123 goal contributions between them. 123. Now, he could play as a 10. I think you are going to look to sign a 10 on top of Cherki. I think he's going to be more of a Bernardo Silva replacement than a De Bruyne replacement. But I think elements of Cherki's creativity, 20 assists this season, also make him a little bit of a replacement. But that is mad. Absolutely mad. Like, I think right now, City will finish above Arsenal next season. It'll be interesting to see what Arsenal do in the window. But right now, I might do a Premier League predictions video. I've got Liverpool and City above Arsenal. I've got a Liverpool and City title race. And that is a Man United fan's worst nightmare. I mean, Arsenal winning the league is pretty painful because their fan base is probably the most annoying online. So yeah, more details on Cherki. Olympique Lyon will receive €6 million in add-ons. So look, very, very good business. Medical test. They want to fly him to the Club World Cup in the USA. And I think teams are taking that Club World Cup quite seriously because of the prize pool as well. But look at this. This could be the lineup next season. Now, I think City will sign a 10 and Cherki will go on to the right. Rodri is back. Marmoush is a baller. The only positive, I guess, is maybe the month of AFCON that you might drop off. Brilliant players there. You're probably getting your goalkeeper, won't you? But Foden, Gonzalez, Doku, O'Reilly, Bob's like a new signing this season, essentially, because of his injury. Gundogan, Silva, Kovacic, all these players are going to be on the bench as well that I haven't named. There's rumours of Rodrigo as well to Man City, which is ridiculous. I don't think you are going for him. I think you're going for like a 10. The Morgan Gibbs-White links, but I think Forest are asking for a ridiculous fee. But that's insane. Especially with Rodri coming back as well. And Reijnders being perfect. Like City's lineup next season. So let's talk about Cherki. Is he the De Bruyne successor? Element of it. I think you can replace De Bruyne and 2 players, and Cherki's one of the 2 players you're going to bring in. I also think Foden will be better next season. But he's 21. And he's one of the most technical and creative players in Europe. With De Bruyne leading, Pep has identified Cherki as the long-term creator for that playmaker role. It's bold. There's questions over work rate. There's questions over attitude. There's questions over this. There's questions over that. Maybe there's a reason more clubs didn't move for him. Of course. But in terms of ability, in terms of natural talent, elite flair, he's up there. He's just got to, if he works hard, he puts his head down and he is disciplined, the sky's the limit for Cherki. He's someone where his natural ability is there's only probably about 10 or so players with better natural ability than him out there. It's sometimes elements of it will be work rate, how he does, of course. But very, very good player, very technical player. And of course, like, I don't want to sound like I'm over hyping Cherki. There's elements of his game he needs to improve. There's things he'll have to do at Manchester City that he doesn't do now. But I do think as a natural player, is unreal. 20 assists and 12 goals in 34 starts this last season. And I saw this tweet from Doogie, which I quite liked. He talked about Hazard, Cantona, Sola, Ben Arfa, Berbatov, Payet, and he said entertainers, mavericks, fearless, the freedom they play with, the way they express themselves, the confidence. Cherki's in that mould, and I completely agree. He's in that mould of player where there's something a little bit special about him. So let's talk about Cherki. He can play right wing, 10, or even as a false 9. Could put him on the left, but yeah, he flits the fluid positional play of City's demands. You've seen Pep make adaptations when Mamouche came in. He might make adaptations to put Cherki in more of a free role. He might float behind Haaland, float behind the striker. He might go out wide and use his 1v1 skill and close control. But he's someone that is versatile. He's someone that isn't just one role that can adapt. And Pep is showing, like, adapting when Marmoush came in, and it worked quite well for City, making the odd change to players' roles to get the best out of them. You know, with Marmoush coming in, how can he use Marmoush and Haaland? I liked that. In terms of him as a player, you've got the technical brilliance, the in-game intelligence. As I said, when you look at Cherki, ball control, tight space dribbling, press resistant, ability to sort of drop the shoulder, create separation, create space for himself, get out of small spaces is good. He has that Mahrez-like glide. You know, I think Savinho had a good first 6 months of the season, dropped off a little bit second half of the season. There's still a lot more to come from Savinho, who had elements of Mahrez in him. Cherki's got elements of Mahrez in him. I think it's two good players to compete with each other. But his creativity, it's absolutely it's creativity. When it comes to chance, like for his age as well, like his numbers he got up. And look, Ligue 1, I think Ligue 1 is harder to get goal contributions in than the Bundesliga. I'm going to be honest. You know, creative player, and he has been the last 2 seasons. You know, he's worked hard to get where he is because there was a period where he wasn't getting in that team. You know, he's got the flair to unlock low blocks. He's got that skill. He's got that. I think his decision making is going to get better, and I think Pep improves players' decision making. So he disciplines them well. But in terms of just creativeness, in terms of dribbling, in terms of that skillful, two-footed, flary guy, City have got a guy that people are just going to enjoy to watch. Whether you like a neutral or a City fan. I guess if he wasn't at Man City, he's a player that I enjoy to watch. Like there's certain players you're like, I like him, and then they go to your rival and you're like, really? I still like them. Is he a Bernardo or Kevin De Bruyne replacement? I think a bit of both. I think City will look for someone to replace De Bruyne, but I think Cherki, you know, while he isn't a stylistic clone of De Bruyne, he brings elements of the creativity you're going to lose with De Bruyne, the risk-taking, the final third intervention. He's more of a mix between De Bruyne and a winger. I think you will bring in a 10. I think with Rodri and Reijnders in midfield behind him, he could play as a 10, and he's got that free license, that free role. I think he will operate maybe more on the right wing, depending on who you sign. But look, Kevin De Bruyne, it's big shoes to fill. I don't think Cherki's coming in to fill those shoes. There was always hope that Phil Foden would fill those shoes. It doesn't look like it. I think he's coming in to be one or two players that will fill that absence that De Bruyne leaves. I think De Bruyne, sometimes when you get a player as good as De Bruyne, it's not replacing him like for like, it's finding two good players that can come in and replicate that. Like City replacing Trent with Frimpong and Wirtz. Because Frimpong is brilliant and stacking-minded, but he doesn't have the passing of Trent that Wirtz does. I think he's just a different kind. You know, I look at City and I think they will sign a 10. I think he will play between 10 and right wing. I think Pep's going to give him a bit of free role, free license. But look, he gets goals, he gets assists. You know, he was good in the Europa League game against Man United as well, against Prem opposition, although we make everyone look good. He's just got that bit about him. Saw it for France the other day. And I think City are now building the squad for the post-Kevin De Bruyne era. This is Pep's first rebuild. And you look at City, they've got Rodri back, Cherki's coming in, Marmouche joined in January. They've got, obviously, Reijnders coming in, that's a great signing. They've got Ait Nouri coming in, that's a great signing. Oscar Bob will be back, and what a talent he is. You know, and Nico O'Reilly showed some real promise at the end of the season. There's some young players that I expect are going to be back next season. Players like Foden, I think, will be back to his best next season. Like, I look at City and what City could be like next season and how they could be next season. And like it's worrying. You know, you've got this really creative player in Cherki. You've got this, you've got that. City are definitely more likely going to be back next season. If I was to name and list out Cherki's strengths, I've put elite technical ability in terms of gifted dribblers, close control, tight space. His vision and creative vision, his ability to create chances from impossible situations, his final third spark. He's got a good bit of ball striking on him as well. He's comfortable in the right wing, comfortable in central areas, comfortable in the half space, could fit into multiple systems, has that 1v1 threat with his dribbling, even if he's not rapid. got that football intelligence, can scan the pitch well, and he's got a very high ceiling. I think it's an amazing signing for City. Thank you for watching. Bye.